All right, everyone, ready to dive in. Today we are looking into skipping stones, and wow, this book, let me tell you,
Oh, yeah.
I was hooked right away.
Yeah, really grabs you.
And we've got excerpts from the book itself, which is always fun
I love that.
to really kind of get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, right into the store.
Yeah, and so for those who haven't read it, this one's got a really interesting structure. Two timelines, back and forth, keep you on your toes.
Keeps it interesting.
Yeah, and on the one hand, we have Elizabeth back in the 1960s dealing with her son, Kevin. And Kevin is,
He's a handful.
he is, he is something else, man.
A little off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the way the author describes him, even just in these excerpts, is so unsettling.
Right. Like there's something not quite right.
Yeah, and it's not like one of those books, like you were saying, where they just give him a label
Exactly.
and call it a day. It's much more nuanced.
Yeah. Very subtle, very creepy.
Yeah, very creepy.
Yeah.
And makes you wonder, what is going on
Mm.
with this kid? Like, what kind of person, torments their own mother in the middle of the night like that?
It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to add to all that, I mean,
Well,
Elizabeth is married to a U.S. senator.
well, that's right. I forgot about that.
So you have that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure there.
Oh, huge pressure, right? Like appearances, keep everything under wraps.
All the secrets.
Oh, I know, right? Talk about a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, there's got to be more to that story.
Oh, yes, so much more going on there.
Renee meets the eye.
Yeah, and then we jump to the present day
Okay.
with Vanessa Stone,
Right. Yeah.
this detective who's hunting a serial killer. And guess what?
I bet their paths are going to cross.
They totally do. Not in a good way.
Of course not.
But what I find really interesting is how the author ties these two stories together
Okay.
with the theme of institutional care.
Oh, interesting.
So Elizabeth's wrestling with whether to send Kevin to an orphanage. And then we get these little glimpses into this place called Life Haven.
That place.
Yeah. What'd you think about it?
Oh, it was creepy. So creepy.
So creepy. Especially that part where they talk about the trap being set for one of the kids.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, was it an accident? Was it something more?
Right. What was going on there?
Yeah, and
I just suspicious.
it foreshadows, like you were saying, some of the darker stuff
Yeah, much darker.
that comes later.
Yeah.
And there was another thing. Okay, so they mentioned that the woman running Life Haven, Maureen,
Yeah, I remember her.
seems to be profiting somehow.
Oh, yeah, like she's getting kickbacks or something?
Yeah, that whole thing is shady.
Right.
Like there's some serious corruption.
Definitely some corruption.
And that's when I started thinking, okay, how does Aiden Smith, the serial killer, fit into all this?
Good question.
Right. Was he one of the kids at Life Haven? Is that the connection?
I don't know. We'll have to keep reading to find out.
Yeah.
But they definitely give you just enough
Oh, yeah.
to make you wonder.
They're good. Those authors, they know what they're doing.
They know how to keep you hooked.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next.
Yeah. And it's interesting how they don't actually say right away whether Smith was at Life Haven.
Right. It's like, is that where he's from?
Yeah, is that the connection?
Yeah. And, talking about Life Haven, there's some more backstory about Carlton Tubbs,
Oh, right.
the other killer
Yeah.
that Smith supposedly knew.
And he had a rough time there.
He did.
Abandoned by his mother.
Yeah, you can't help but feel for the guy, right?
It's so sad.
Yeah, there's that scene where his mom, Lori,
Yes.
tries to visit him.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Maureen Donovan, the
Huge director, yeah.
keeps turning her away.
Oh, she's awful.
Awful,
You
right?
know-
And saying it's for his own good.
Right.
But you just get the feeling like there's something else going on.
Definitely something fishy there.
Yeah. And then later on, we find out about these massive payouts
Oh,
from some shady shell company
yeah, very shady.
to Maureen, Margie, and some others connected to Life Haven.
Oh, so they're all in on it.
Hold on, wait, are you saying, like, they were running some kind of scam
Sounds like it, right?
using these kids for their own financial gain?
Oh, that's terrible.
Awful, right.
Yeah.
And there's even that mention of the internal affairs investigation
Yes.
into one of the cops who adopted a child from there.
Wow.
This is messed up.
Yeah, it's getting really dark.
And we still don't know how Smith fits into all this.
Yeah.
Like, was he a victim of this scheme, or did he orchestrate it all?
Good question.
That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
And, you almost feel for Elizabeth a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah, with Kevin.
With Kevin. I mean,
Of course, who wouldn't?
imagine dealing with his, disturbing behavior as a kid.
It would be terrifying.
Like, no wonder she felt like she had to send him to Life Haven.
I know. I mean, what else could she do?
But then they also hint that maybe she's holding back some information.
Oh, there's always more to the story.
There's always more. That's what I love about this book.
Yeah, the twists and turns keep you guessing.
And then you have Vanessa Stone
Right.
in the present day.
In the present.
Dealing with her divorce and custody battle.
Oh, that's right.
And possibly rekindling things with her ex.
And he's not so great.
Who might be bad news.
Yeah, he seems shady.
Yeah, girl's got baggage, you know.
Oh, yeah. She's got her own issues, for sure.
And I love that she's not, like, some perfect detective.
Right.
She's flawed, you know.
Real. Relatable.
Yeah, she's trying to do her job. Her personal life is falling apart.
And it's interesting how her investigation kind of mirrors her personal struggles. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, she's searching for answers.
Okay.
The truth.
Yeah.
Not just about Smith, but about herself.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like her choices, the consequences.
It's like a parallel journey.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah, she's uncovering things about herself while she's trying to uncover Smith.
And then those storylines start to come together, and the suspense just builds.
Oh, yeah, it gets intense.
Like, will she figure out the truth in time to stop him?
Yeah, before it's too late.
Before something terrible happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, before we get into spoiler territory.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it.
What else really grabbed your attention?
You know, it's that unsettling atmosphere.
Oh, I know what you mean.
It's not just the violence, the gore.
It's more than that.
Yeah, it's like a psychological thing.
Yeah.
This feeling that something really bad is going to happen.
Like you can feel the darkness.
Yes, exactly.
It's so creepy.
And that's why you can't put it down, you know?
You're hooked.
You got to know what happens next.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely adding this to my reading list now.
You should.
You've convinced me.
It's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
It's got everything, suspense, complex characters.
And it makes you think, too.
It gets under your skin.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we left off
with
Angela trapped by Smith.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Talk about a nightmare, huh?
Yeah, really scary, but it's interesting, you know, how she's using what she's learned to try to get out of there.
She's not giving up.
No, not at all. Very resilient.
Which makes it even more tragic what happens to Terry Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Her husband adopted Smith as a child, right?
And she feels so guilty.
Awful.
Yeah.
Like she blames herself for his suicide.
You can't blame her.
It just shows you how Smith's impact goes way beyond the direct victims.
A ripple effect.
Yeah. And then finally, Vanessa, Gill, and the FBI.
They're getting close.
They're closing in.
Yeah.
They know who he is.
It's on his trail.
The tension in these excerpts
so intense.
is insane. Especially when Elizabeth realizes what's happening.
Right.
She sees the FBI at her farm.
Yeah, and she knows.
She just knows.
She's her son.
This horrible realization hits her.
It's awful.
And she decides to confront him.
Wow, I can't imagine.
What do you think, what do you think motivated her to do that?
Well, she wants to protect Angela, of course.
Yeah.
But it's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
Like, she needs to understand how her son became a monster.
It's like, is it nature versus nurture?
That's the question, isn't it?
Was he always going to be this way? Or did something happen?
Right.
And the book doesn't really give you an answer.
Which makes it even more interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Because in real life,
right, yeah,
there's no easy answer.
And that standoff scene between Elizabeth and Smith is so intense.
Yeah. Yeah, she's trying to appeal to him.
Yeah.
You know? And he's got Megan hostage.
You can feel her desperation.
Yeah.
Like she wants to believe there's still some good in him.
Right.
But then he starts talking about the pain, how he enjoys it.
Yeah. And that he sees people as objects.
It's chilling.
It's like he's not even human.
And the scars he carves into himself.
Yeah.
Like, what's that all about?
Like he's trying to erase himself?
It's heavy stuff.
It is, but that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah, it makes you think about, like...
Yeah, the dark side of human nature.
The dark side, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, well, I'm definitely adding this to my reading list.
You gotta read it.
You've convinced me.
It's so good.
It's got suspense. It's got complex characters.
Everything you want in a thriller.
It gets under your skin. It makes you think.
And you won't be disappointed.
No, I don't think so. I'm excited to read it.
And we didn't spoil the ending.
No spoiler.
So you have to read it yourself.
All right, listeners, if you're looking for a book that'll keep you up all night,
this is it.
This is it. Skipping Stones. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Yeah, happy reading, everyone.